Welcome to Flavors of Africa.
Merry Christmas. I'm Doris Ufuebune.
Happy holidays. I'm Kevin Ufuebune. Now, it's that time of year where we start seeing the beautiful snow and we get all festive, and it also gets very cold too.
Yes, and as much as I love Canada, this is that time of the year that I wish I were in Nigeria because it's so warm and cozy.
Well, myself too. I've been hearing great plans of people leaving Calgary and they're going south to all sorts of warm, beautiful places. But for me, I think that I'd have to stick with my traditional white Christmas to be happy.
Awesome. Well, we can do both.
Exactly. We can incorporate a little bit of, warm, beautiful African culture into our white Christmas.
Of course,
so
we can do that. Yes, for adding to that, we've decided to do goat meat pepper soup, because in Nigeria during this time of the year, goat meat is is widely eaten, is widely appreciated in Africa and in Nigeria, as I already said. So we are going to make pepper soup with the goat meat. We have the meat cut up in pieces because it's going to be, it's the goat meat. It's going to be in pieces, and once we make it, you're going to enjoy it, you're going to love it, you're going to see what I'm talking about.
And it's easier for you to make at home.
It is easy. So we have all the ingredients here. We have the salt. So I'm going to add a little bit of salt, not too much salt.
That's even less than a teaspoon.
Exactly. And then the special ingredient, this is African spices. I've talked extensively about African spices. So this pepper soup is different in the sense that the spices that go into this is very authentic, and you know what? You can find it in local African stores here. So it's not they are not difficult spices to find. So to that, I'm gonna add the.
Now, when you talked about how special the goat meat is,
yes,
it sort of reminded me of turkey. Is that an equivalent to say that looking forward to goat meat on Christmas Day in Nigeria is the same as me looking forward to turkey?
It is.
In Canada.
Exactly, because as I already said, in Nigeria, Christmas will not be celebrated without goat meat. So once Christmas is approaching, people usually travel to other cities where they can get the best goat, to be butchered. And you know what? It's really, really something that everybody looks forward to. Growing up, it was such a delight, whenever my parents bought goat, so that we could have goat meat during Christmas. And as I have already told you so many times, that when I was growing up, like my father, he was a hunter. He hunted for fun. Yeah, he hunted bighorn animals. But I tell you, during Christmas, my younger brother and I, we always pray that my dad will not have any wild animals, right? Because we wanted goat meat. Okay, even though we just pray, because, growing up like many years ago, we didn't have a fridge. So because of that, whenever we had, we call it bush meat, we would preserve it. It would be, roasted.
Smoked.
Or smoked, if I might say. That way we could preserve it. So we didn't want any smoked meat during Christmas. It was always goat. And then, so we would tell my parents, especially my mom, would say, this Christmas, we don't want any smoked meat. We would like our goat meat. And you know what? They would do it for us. So that's the fun of it. But here, it's always turkey. Like you guys like turkey. Exactly. And I think we've adapted to that because every Christmas, being in Canada, we cook our turkey.
But now I feel like being greedy. I want to have both, my African and... Okay. And now what spice are you adding? Well,
this is also African spice, you can find it in local grocery stores. Like everything here, it's easy to make, because I've always said that cultures that eat together, stay together. Through food, we can appreciate diversity and promote cultural unity. So by us, trying different dishes, we begin to appreciate one another. So visit local African stores and you can find the spices. So this one here is also very special for the goat meat pepper soup. It's already blended into this. So usually to cook this, you will take like about 2 or 3 and then you roast it, and then you remove the skin, and then you blend it with other spices. So that's what I have here. And then we cannot forget our the cayenne pepper. It goes very well. Of course, that's why we call it pepper soup, because it makes it hot. You know, it spices it up.
I think we're also known for spicy dishes, or spicy African dishes.
You know, you can cook pepper soup. You know, in Nigeria, they call it pepper soup because of the accent.
So I lose the R, not pepper, but pepper.
It's actually pepper because it's hot, you know. We make it really, really, really spicy. Yes. However, they call it pepper soup. So in case, you know, you hear people saying pepper soup, it's the same thing. You know, whether it's pepper soup or pepper soup, no wahala. Exactly. It's the same thing. So we're going to chop the onion, just one onion. And to do that, you know, normally I was told, like, I'm not a trained chef, I cook for fun, but I was told that the best way to do the onion is to, like, chop it. And
so the way that you're dicing it, you're really going to be able to cut it into really small pieces.
Exactly, and then you put your fingers in, because, you know, you don't want to chop your fingers. So that's, like, really neat. Okay. But I'm getting used to it, because, you know what? I'm not used to that, but...
You have your own technique.
Exactly, that's a good idea. And once again, you know, most people don't like too much onions in their dishes. If you don't like too much onions, you can actually use half of it, no wahala.
So you can just go with one half.
Exactly, and that's basically what I'm going to do. Now that I'm chopping, I love onions, so exactly.
I'm gonna have to go.
You know, you've been chopping the onions for the longest time. So this time I just decided to show our audience, you know, how it's done, right?
Yes.
So we're gonna take the onions and add it to the meat.
The meat with the spices.
And it's gonna give it a wonderful flavor.
Now I'm wondering, let's say I'm a beef person, or I'm a chicken person, or
yes,
even a lamb person in this case. Can I substitute the goat?
Of course, you can do that. You can use chicken, you can use a goat, you can use beef, you can even use fish.
Fish.
No wahala.
Nice.
Alrighty. So to this, we're going to add some water. Again, not too much water, because we're going to simmer it. And it takes about 1 hour to cook it. Why? Because goat meat is tough. Goat meat is not like beef or lamb. Notice lamb is very soft, it's very tender. But beef is very tough and juicy. When it's cooked, it's really, really juicy. So I'm just gonna, you know, put it in medium.
Okay,
yeah, we're gonna put a lid and let it simmer, and as time goes by, you're gonna smell the aroma.
So when we talk about celebrating Christmas in Africa,
yes.
Now, I know that especially growing up in North America, that we have this rush that, oh, I need to buy, I need to buy, I need to.
Yes.
I have a huge list for Santa Claus. Okay, so is it the same thing in Nigeria, for instance, or is it commercial? Is it?
No. Christmas in Nigeria or in Africa is not really commercialized.
Yes.
It's a family affair. It's also a time where you invite your friends. You know, like I've told you extensively, in Africa, we practice open door policy.
Well, that's right. I know that when I went back home, it's not a system where you call and say, I'm going to be here, I'm going to visit you. You kind of just go door to door, and people's doors are open all the time. They're never closed.
Exactly.
So, and I can imagine Christmas, it's even more welcoming.
Exactly. And because the weather is so nice, the weather is so warm, you see people sitting outside, you know, drinking wine, you know, having fun. Exactly. You know, and that's one thing I like about Africa, because, you know, you don't need permission to sit out or to do anything. You just sit down there. You don't need permission for you to join a group. Once you see people gathered together, you just go in there and then introduce yourself.
If you didn't do any of the cooking, then you can go simply to your next your next door neighbor's home, and if you smell delicious pepper soup, then you just go for it, because you don't have to.
Yeah, some people do it. Yes, some people do it, like people that are, you know, single, you know, it's the best time for them.
I'd be guilty of that.
Oh, tell me about it.
Maybe I do need to have Christmas in Nigeria.
Yeah, I think you should, because that's the time people go around and nobody judges anybody. It's even even during ordinary time, apart from Christmas celebrations, people still work. You've seen it. People still visit people, and then whatever we have, they can even open your fridge and, you know, help themselves. And that's one thing I like about Nigeria. And speaking of wine, we have South African wine here, because you cannot talk about wine without visiting South Africa. South Africa is so famous for its wine. And during Christmas in Africa, I mean, most people, you know, they import South African wine.
So I can enjoy South African wine in Nigeria.
Exactly. And then for this dish, we have chosen the Durbanville Hills Cabernet Sauvignon. It's red wine, and it goes very well with lamb. And because lamb and goat are in the same family, we've chosen to use this very wine. And this is one of my favorite because you can mix it up.
That's the Amarula?
Yeah, that's the Amarula. And you know that the Amarula is from African fruit tree. So it's actually made from African fruit. There's a tree, it's very well, it's like a creme de la creme.
Well, sometimes tree. I think that's why they call Africa the motherland, because it's like, this comes from Africa.
So many things, and that's what we're trying to
think about.
Awesome. That's what we're trying to bring to people, to show them what Africa is made of. I always say that Africa is a paradise waiting to be explored. People have not really,
some people. That's what makes it so exotic.
Yeah,
so bringing that for you today, and I mean the pepper soup. Like it's so easy to...
Exactly. Yeah. So why is cooking, you know, you're having biscuits, you're having so many things. You know, it's so easy.
So now, is there a Santa Claus? As a child growing up in Nigeria, was Santa Claus a big part of your custom?
We always say Father Christmas, you know.
Because you're influenced by the British.
By the British. Okay. We never say Santa Claus. It wasn't until I came here I'm hearing Santa Claus. I said, who? Okay, you know, I say it's Father Christmas. Because during Christmas, the way Christmas is actually celebrated in Nigeria, I should say Nigeria because that's what I know, right? Because I'm from Nigeria, is that the celebration starts on the 24th. You know, everybody's getting ready to go to church, and then you have your goat, and you have your chicken. You can eat chicken, even turkey too. Some people fry the turkey. Anything you wish, you can combine. That's when we combine a lot of meats, like goat, like chicken, like beef, you know, because many people will be, you know, dropping by, right? And the interesting thing about my childhood is the relationship that I have with my, or I had with my parents and my siblings and then the friends, because this is a special time. Even people living in Western world, this is the time they travel home to go celebrate with their loved ones, you know. I mean, I know that we haven't, you know, we didn't travel this year because there are so many things, you know, going on. But next year, for sure, we're going. But it's a special time. It's such a peaceful, you know, time.
Well, I can imagine. And from what, you know, I've done a bit of reading because I haven't experienced it for myself.
Yes.
But it seems as though family ties in African culture and tradition, they're very important. So when you say that you're close, you know, to your parents back home, I can understand it, of course, being close to my parents.
Exactly.
But I can really understand how genuine it is back home.
Yes.
So now you have Father Christmas growing up. So is it the same system of waiting for gifts the next day? How does that work?
No, actually, it wasn't like that. The Father Christmas, as I remember it, would, you know, give some candies to children. And, you know, yes, we gave gifts when I was in Nigeria, right? But it's not stressful as it is here, I must tell you, because
so it's more for fun.
It's for fun. I see people saying, oh, I don't know what to buy for my friend. Oh, she gave me this. It's not like that at all. Everybody looked forward to the food, to the fried goat meat and
so in
chicken
other words,
and everything.
It's kind of like you look forward to the little things. You
exactly.
Exactly. You know, a few delicacies and have your guests over for Christmas.
And that's the time children have, although they have clothes all the time, right? Yes. They have new clothes. But Christmas is so special. Some people might request lace material, you know, something beautiful that they want to wear to church, because it's all about, you know, the birth of Jesus Christ. That's what we celebrated, and, you know, that's really the true meaning of Christmas.
So when you talk about material, you talk about receiving clothing. Is lace your head tie? Is that, lace?
It could be anything, but it's really, as children growing up, we didn't dress like this. We dressed in the Western style, like dresses made. Some people will have imported clothes.
Probably from the UK.
From UK, you know. Whatever style they have in UK, you know, Nigeria will have it, because that's how we copy them extensively, you know.
Like a big sister.
Exactly.
When I think of the relationship between UK and Nigeria, it's like a big relative, like
it
an
is.
auntie overseas.
Yes, so, it is. So that's what it was. But for us, you know, going to church and waking up in the morning, I will tell you this story. I remember, because it's all about goat, right? So one Christmas, my parents bought this huge goat. It was really huge, and they brought it a week before Christmas. And what happened is that we had to feed it. We had to make sure that the goat had water, the goat had some grain and stuff to eat, right? So my brother and I would wake up to go and check out the goat. You know, it was so exciting, you know, looking forward to it. I could not sleep. You know, I was always like, oh my God, every morning I would go. I said, when is the big day? When is the big day? I kept asking. And, you know, like, too much excitement is not good, I heard, you know, and I became like an antelope. In Nigeria, we would say I became like an antelope who
the proverbs.
Exactly, who danced himself lame before the actual dance had begun, you know. So I was always like, oh my God, and then I became, you know, really sick from all the excitement. And when Christmas came, I could not eat the goat meat, you know, but my parents, they promised me that during the new year that we'll have another goat, you know. So it's, that's interesting. So when I think about, oh, just excuse me, I'm going to lower it. You see what I'm saying? So now we have to lower it just a tiny bit.
So from medium, we put it down to low.
And I'm going to let you stir.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, so you're going to stir.
I'm looking forward to the aroma, because I know that we've added those wonderful spices.
You can even smell the aroma. And I just wish our audience could, you know, smell the aroma.
But I'm hoping that you're making it at home. And again, if you have any questions or comments, just flavorsofafrica@shaw.ca.
Oh, awesome.
Perfect. And I was going to say, like, what do you do to compensate for the lack of snow? Like, is the temperature still warm
enough in
Nigeria? Because I know that the only place where it really snows is in the north of Africa.
Oh, really?
As much as I know. So
I never heard of snow. Well, I read about Canada before coming.
There's no temperature change.
No, but it's cold. This is also when it's really cold in Nigeria.
It's a bit chilly, then.
Oh yeah, it's chilly, and then people are like, oh, it's so cold, because a few years ago, I went home for Christmas, and I was using, you know, cold water to shower, and people were like, oh, it's so cold. I'm like, oh, I've lived in Canada for a long time. So, you know, I said, if you guys think it's cold, you should come visit us here, you know. So what they consider cold is really so mild. You don't have to wear your jacket or anything.
So we can serve this as an appetizer.
Exactly. It's usually served as an appetizer, you know, but you can eat it as a meal because it has meat, you know, so you can, you know, eat it with other things like Nigerian yeast bread, which we are going to make in the next episode.
Perfect. Yeah. And I'm wondering, is it always traditionally eaten with meat?
With meat?
Yes.
What?
Pepper soup, because when I eat pepper soup, the flavor alone, it's so delicious that I don't know if it really, if you could do without the meat, or it's because it's a traditional dish, you need the meat.
Well, some people are vegetarians. If you have all the ingredients, you can still achieve that aroma or the flavor that you're looking for. So if you don't want meat, you don't want fish, no wahala. You can just use all the ingredients and then use a vegetable stock. You will still achieve the same consistency.
But is there something special that the meat gives to the flavor?
It's the flavor. It's the flavor, it's the aroma. Because whenever you are cooking this back home, you know, your neighbors know. Oh yeah, everybody knows that you're cooking it, and that's when you have so many people visiting you. So whenever you're making it, you have to be generous.
Now I have another idea that I
Okay.
wouldn't have to check next door to see what they're making. If I smell it delicious,
Exactly, you just
just
walk.
come through casually.
Exactly, and they say, how's everyone doing? I'm
Yeah.
Kevin Ufwebune. You know, no, you don't have to introduce yourself. Just joking, you don't. You just walk
But I
in,
mean, I can
and they
enjoy
say,
it,
oh,
yeah.
we have pepper soup. Would you like some? I say, oh, my pleasure. You know, so you have it, and yeah, that's what it is. And you know, we've talked extensively about South African
Well,
wine.
the wine complements.
It really
the
complements
soup.
it.
Is it because the soup has like a texture, sort of a thick
Oh no,
texture
because
in it?
because see the Dublin Hills, the red part of it goes well with goat. So it goes with lamb. So because lamb and goat are in the same family, that's why we're using goat. And also, I read that goat is really good for you because it doesn't have cholesterol, you know. So it's very low in cholesterol. So for people that are looking for alternative, you know, I always say goat meat. Even Oprah Winfrey talked about it on her show. So I mean, and she said, I didn't know that goat is that good. So
there you go.
maybe she has tasted it.
Another healthy dish. But what I noticed is we're not making a fufu.
Yes.
And I know that, like, if you go to countries such as Ghana, you're going to have fufu on Christmas Day.
Yes.
So we're not, like, for the other dishes that we made the melon gourmet,
Yes.
the goosey soup that's found in West Africa, but we're not making a fufu for this dish.
No, not for this dish, because this is almost like the dish you eat on its own, right? You don't need fufu
like a
with
soup.
it. It's just like,
It
yeah,
is a
it is
soup,
a soup.
Yeah.
But again, it's an interesting point that you're bringing up, because in Africa, Christmas will not be complete in some parts without the fufu. I've always said that fufu is to West and Central African cooking. What mashed potatoes are to European and American cooking, you know.
I think I get it now. So
Yeah.
with mashed potatoes, when you eat mashed potatoes in Canada, the gravy is kind of starchy and thick.
Yes.
So it can go with the potatoes.
Yes.
Pepper soup, it's a really savory dish. It's
Yes.
not so thick though.
Yes,
It's
yes.
not so thick, so you can enjoy it on its own and
Yes,
it's delicious
yes,
that
that's
way.
what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm saying in addition to other dishes, because rice is eaten extensively in Africa, especially in Nigeria, it's a staple. You know, however, the fufu, which is pounded yam, which is like mashed potato, we did it in the last episode. People love it during Christmas, so they will make the egusi soup, which we had already made in one of the episodes. So they will make the rice, beans, plantain, you name it, everything. You know, that's when we...
It's a feast.
Exactly, you know, big one. So, but fufu must be there. I think there's an African country were telling me that if there is no fufu, Christmas...
That is definitely Ghana.
Ghana, you see?
And they do carry the tradition of having delicious meat such as goats. I'm so happy you're talking about it.
Yeah.
But they have, you know, their staple dish,
Yes.
fufu, and that's an important part of their Christmas Day celebration as well.
Yeah, so while this one is cooking, our audience, now you know the ingredients that go into making the soup. We have one that is already prepared for you.
Oh, lovely.
So what we're gonna do, we're gonna heat it up a bit.
And you know what I noticed is that when you've cooked it down,
Yeah.
it blended all together.
Yes.
Whereas in this one,
Yeah. Oh yeah, because it
still...
takes 1 hour, about an hour or so to really cook it down. You can do it in 30 minutes if it's lamb, right? Or chicken.
Yes.
And one thing I forgot to say is that when you are making fish, if it's fish, you won't put the fish in because, you know, fish is very soft. It cooks so fast. It can cook in 5 minutes, so you don't want to put the fish. So what you will do in this instance is to, you know, prepare your fish and then make the broth. Once the broth is cooked down, maybe about 30 minutes or so, then you will add the fish so that it's juicy and moist. So you don't want, I don't like fish when it's overcooked. So we're gonna add, we're gonna show our audience how this dish will look after it's cooked.
And you also mentioned, I don't know if you mentioned, but Are we able to have veggies
Yes.
in the soup after? If
Okay.
because I have a friend that recently became a vegetarian, and he is of Nigerian descent, and I'm asking him how he eats his African dishes, since meat is a big part of those dishes.
Yes. And what did he say?
Well, he didn't answer me. So I guess I'm still yet to know. So can we add
vegetables?
Veggies into the
yes.
dish?
And the way to do it, you see, because it's all about presentation.
Okay.
If you like veggies like carrots, I will put carrots and red pepper. That's all, the only thing I will put. However, we will not put it while we're cooking it, because it will change the texture and the taste. Okay. Once you add carrots, because carrot is sweet, so that's not the texture or consistency we're going for, right? So we just want it to be authentic, like authentic pepper soup or pepper soup, you know, so that's how it is. But yes, you can use red pepper, green pepper, or carrots. Yeah. That's after you've finished cooking it, you know, just for decoration. Just
and
add
it looks like it took a long time to make, because it's so, you know, well put together. When you think about it, it just took us a few minutes. It's going to be very easy for you to try it at
Thank you. So what I'm going to do here is, I know that you would like to taste it.
Do you even have to ask at this point?
Yeah. So I'm just going to give you, for you to see what it's like.
This looks lovely. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. So while you are doing that, I'm going to just wipe around.
So I'm okay to do the honors?
Yes, please, by all means. So
delicious.
I'm just going to wipe around.
This is delicious.
You see?
And you know, you could do without the meat if you are a vegetarian.
Yeah.
Because spices enough are wonderful. So.
Fantastic. Would you like me to tear this for you?
Perfect.
Awesome.
And we have two going. That's
yeah. I guess we'll have a feast after this. Yeah. So I'm just going to add a little bit of cayenne pepper, just for color, that's all. It's not required, it's not, you know, necessary. That's whatever perfect. You have. I don't have carrots, so this will do. So that's what the finished product looks like.
Will keep you nice and warm in Calgary's winter.
Exactly. So, you know, as always, we're hoping that you will try this at home, you know, enjoy it with, especially Nigerians. We're encouraging Nigerians to, you know, make authentic pepper soup during this time of the year and invite your Caucasian friends. And
now that, well, Canadians like myself, it's very easy. We show you how to make it.
Yes.
And if you have any questions, you can email us at flavorsofafrica@shaw.ca, right?
Yes. And then also for the South African wine, you will see you can visit PMA Canada to get more information of all the wines that they have there for your, you know, Christmas parties. So, you know, as always, thank you so much for watching Flavors of Africa. Remember that cultures that eat together stay together, and through food, we can appreciate diversity and promote cultural unity.
Thank you very much for watching, and remember to stay warm inside your homes with a nice pepper soup. Take care.